What is it that you hear from me when you ask me questions? It breaks apart the different logics that you have built. It is contrary to what you have thought. It is the opposite of what you have thought, but strangely, it makes sense. This is how you are starting to listen to Jungbub. You are asking me all kinds of questions, but the answers are based on completely different reasoning, yet it makes sense. This is not possible unless this is the truth. There are a tremendous amount of ideas and theories that have developed in the world. We all have the basic knowledge in this society, and these are things that we all know as facts living in this intellectual society. However, these ideas have become hardened. There is no room for new ideas to grow among established logic. They have hardened. This is what we call common knowledge. You have formed common knowledge from what you have learned. What happens when you keep holding on to this common knowledge for a long time? There's no growth, and ideas become solidified and very hard. Then you become stubborn. What happens to a stubborn person as he or she relates to their colleagues? You argue while holding on to your stubbornness. Then you collide with each other. What happens after you collide? You damage each other's soul. Then you turn your back on one another. What happens after you turn your back on each other? You become distant. This is what is happening here on earth. You meet someone initially because you liked each other. Your ideas and your knowledge should have augmented with the other person and blended. But this didn't happen. So each side makes a strong opinion and turns their back on the other. You live and sleep together in the same house, yet you are strangers. You live in the same household but are distant. You are not able to open yourself up completely to each other. Because both cannot open up to the other, you are not able to exchange energy. Wait, what was the question? I digress. This happens frequently. I need to return to the subject. Please bury all the sorrow you have from being a daughter. All the grief that you felt growing up as a daughter, bury it all. The reason why you felt that way is because there were teachings that you neglected to learn as you were growing. The future is the era of the woman-centered period. It is now time for women to show their abilities. It is time for women of the world to lead. What do women do best? Research. Women are best at doing research. Solving problems by discussing about specific ideas. Women are the best at and were created for doing such things. This comes from spiritual power. What are humans? Humans are gods. We are gods, but enclosed in a physical animal body. We are souls, and souls are gods. We are gods, but in order to function and grow on earth, we need this animal body. That is why God undertook a tremendous amount of work to create this body. He created this physical body under the law of 327. In order to create a physical body with the law of 327, he had to first create the earth, which was also created with the law of 327. Life is raised on this earth. This physical body was created not too long ago. This human physical body. After the evolution of the human body was completed, the soul was then able to enter the body. When the mother is pregnant with a baby, the soul does not enter the mother's womb. The soul enters the body of the baby at the time of birth. Energy of the soul enters the body in an instant. The baby does something special at this very moment. The baby cries very loudly. This tiny baby before the soul enters is just an animal body. This physical body is created by humans. This is physical matter. The soul enters the physical body at the exact moment that the baby is born. The soul enters this body through 6,006 pores. When the soul enters the body in an instant, the tiny body of the baby has a hard time handling this. The energy of the soul must enter the body in a very short amount of time, so the body is in shock. The baby cries out at that time. The first cry after being born is when the soul enters the body. A newborn baby cries so loudly and uncontrollably that the tongue touches the upper palate. So this is what happens when the soul enters the small physical body of a baby. What happens when the soul has settled into the baby's body? The baby croons. It blissfully suckles its own thumb. This is the successful birth of human. This is how you become a human. God has created a tremendous amount of work to bring humans to earth and to continue human evolution by developing our souls and keep returning as humans for soul development. The evolution of humans is now ending since this evolution and development has reached 70%. Now that the time has come to complete this evolution, it is now time for the post-period. With the law of 327, 70% has progressed and we are left with 30% as a new period. The time period up until now has been with suffering, making up deficiency and spiritual growth. Then the future is about managing the society and operating the world correctly to experience joy. We are headed towards a joyous and happy period. This post-period began in 2013. We will be happy only if we can usher in this new era. The entire world and the intellectuals are searching for spiritual power. Why? Because we have grown sufficiently and we are all searching for spiritual power. After completing our growth, we are not satisfied with living an ordinary life. You are becoming gods. You want to live a bigger, better, and more spectacular life. This is when women need to come out to the forefront of society. Women need to live a magnificent life, but they only wear glamorous clothes. Women need to live a beautiful life, but are only wearing pretty clothes. They only want to be treated luxuriously. Women keep putting on makeup to become more attractive. They keep trying to become more beautiful.